Before we begin, imagine being sold to the most feared alpha in the north only to discover he's your soulmate. Now imagine that same alpha looking at you like he hates you, while killing anyone who dares touch you. If you love dark werewolf romance, betrayal, obsession, and emotional revenge stories, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment where you're watching from. Because tonight's story gets brutal. Snow fell heavily across Black Hollow Kingdom. The night Selene Vey was sold. Cold chains wrapped around her wrists while guards dragged her through the crowded marketplace. Beneath flickering torchlight, people whispered as she passed, "That's the debt girl. They're giving her to the beast Alpha." Selene kept her head lowered. Humiliation hurt less when she didn't look at anyone. Well, ahead of her walked her older brother, Marcus, unable to meet her eyes. "You don't have to do this," she whispered desperately. His jaw tightened. "We have no choice." That answer shattered something inside her. Their father gambled away everything. Their lands, their fortune, their future. And now, she was the payment. The marketplace suddenly fell silent. Every guard straightened instantly. Heavy footsteps echoed through the snow. Selene slowly lifted her eyes and froze. Alpha Kael Draven stepped through the storm like darkness itself. Tall, broad shoulders wrapped in black fur. Silver eyes cold enough to freeze blood. A scar stretched across one side of his throat. The beast of Black Hollow. The most feared alpha alive. People said he tore rogues apart with his bare hands. People said even monsters feared him. And tonight, he had come to collect his debt. Kael's gaze swept across the market carelessly, then stopped on Selene. Pain exploded through both of them instantly. The mate bond. Selene gasped sharply, "No. No, no, no. This couldn't happen. Not with him." Shock flashed across Kael's face for one brief second, before his expression hardened again. Dangerously cold. The market noticed immediately. Whispers spread like wildfire. The Alpha found his mate. Kael slowly approached her. The bond between them pulsed violently. Hot, possessive, terrifying. Selene's heartbeat became uneven. Kael stopped directly in front of her, close enough for her to smell snow and smoke clinging to his skin, close enough to notice the conflict inside his silver eyes. CC asked CC Wolf. His wolf wanted her instantly, but the man himself looked furious about it. Kael turned toward Marcus coldly. "The debt is cleared." Marcus nodded quickly and stepped backward, relieved, ashamed, cowardly. Then he left, without even looking back. Selene stared after him in disbelief. Her own family had abandoned her. Kael noticed the chains cutting into her wrists. His jaw tightened slightly. Then suddenly, he snapped the chains apart with one hand. The crowd fell silent. "You're hurting her," his wolf growled beneath his voice. Kael stepped backward immediately after saying it, almost frustrated with himself. "You belong to Black Hollow now," he said coldly. Selene lifted her chin slightly. "And what exactly does that mean?" Kael's silver eyes locked onto hers. "It means nobody touches you without my permission." The possessiveness in his voice shocked both of them. Kael looked irritated instantly. Like he hated how quickly his wolf already claimed her. Selene should have feared him. Instead, she pitied him slightly because she recognized that expression. A man terrified of wanting something too much. Kael turned sharply. "Take her to the castle." The guards obeyed instantly. Snow soaked through Selene's cloak as they crossed Black Hollow Kingdom toward the giant castle overlooking the mountains. Massive black stone walls towered above the kingdom. Wolf banners snapped violently in the icy wind. The castle looked less like a home and more like a prison. Inside the grand hall, servants lowered their heads immediately when Selene entered beside the Alpha. Fear spread visibly through the room. Not fear of her. Fear of what she meant. A weakness. Kael noticed the whispers immediately. His wolf growled low. "If anyone disrespects her," he said quietly, "I'll remove their tongue." The hall fell completely silent. Selene stared at him in shock. Moments ago, he acted like the mate bond disgusted him. Now he was threatening people for her. Kael looked annoyed with himself again. Then suddenly, a woman's voice echoed from the staircase above. "How disappointing." Selene looked upward. A beautiful woman descended slowly beneath candlelight. Long black silk dress, cold elegant eyes, dangerous beauty, Lady Evelina. The woman everyone expected to become Queen of Black Hollow. Her gaze locked onto Selene instantly. "So this is the girl. It's the girl," she whispered bitterly. The atmosphere darkened immediately, because Selene suddenly understood something terrifying. Finding her mate wasn't the beginning of her problems. It was the beginning of a war. If you're enjoying the story so far, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more dark werewolf romances, and comment below. Would you forget the mate who treated you coldly at first? The castle felt colder after Evelina arrived. Lady Evelina descended the staircase slowly, black silk trailing behind her, while servants avoided looking directly at her. Beautiful, elegant, furious. Her eyes studied Selene openly. The bruised wrists, the wet cloak, the exhaustion in her face. Evelina smiled coldly. "The great ALFA rejected noble daughters from 5 kingdoms," she whispered, "only to bring home a debt slave." Kael stepped between them instantly. Protective. Instinctive. Selene noticed immediately. So did Evelina. And somehow, that hurt her more than the mate bond itself. "You're embarrassing yourself," Evelina said sharply. Kael's silver eyes darkened. "Leave." Silence filled the hall. Nobody spoke to Evelina that way. Not after years of standing beside the ALFA, like his future queen. But everything had changed now. Evelina looked directly at Selene. "Do you know what hurts the most?" she whispered bitterly. "It's not that he found his mate. It's that he looks at you the way he never looked at me." Then she walked away. The tension she left behind lingered heavily in the room. A servant approached nervously. "Your Majesty, should we prepare the western chambers?" Kael answered immediately. "No." The servant blinked nervously. "But those are the guest rooms. She stays in the royal wing." The entire hall froze. Even Selene stared at him. The royal wing was beside the ALFA's private chambers. Kael realized what he said too late. His wolf had already decided. Selene belonged near him. The realization visibly irritated him. He turned sharply and walked away without another word. But even while leaving, he kept looking back at her. Later that night, Selene stood beside the fire inside her new chamber inside Lijuembo, while snow drifted outside giant castle windows. Everything felt unreal. This morning she was unwanted, forgotten, sold. Now she slept inside a king's castle because fate tied her to the most dangerous ALFA alive. A knock echoed softly. Before she answered, the door opened. Kael stepped inside. His black shirt clung slightly to work with you. His black shirt clung to his body from melted snow, exposing the scar stretching across his throat and collarbone. Selene immediately looked away, which only made him notice. The mate bond pulsed harder at night. Warmer, more dangerous. "You should eat," Kael said quietly. Selene almost laughed. "You sound disappointed that I'm still here." Silence. Kael looked toward the fireplace. Then finally, "My wolf wants things I don't." The honesty surprised her. "And what exactly does your wolf want?" Big mistake. The atmosphere changed instantly. Kael slowly lifted his silver eyes toward her. "Hungry. Possessive. You." Her heartbeat stumbled violently. Kael looked frustrated with him immediately after saying it, like he hated how much truth lived inside that single word. Selene crossed her arms slowly. That's interesting. Kael frowned slightly. Because 5 days ago, she whispered softly, I was worth less than your debt. The words hit him hard. She saw it immediately. Pain flashed briefly across his face. Kael stepped closer slowly. You are not worthless. Then what am I? Silence. Kael stared at her for several seconds. Then finally, a problem. The honesty should have hurt. Instead, it made her chest tighten strangely. Because she realized something terrifying. He meant it. Not because he disliked her, because he already wanted her too much. Then suddenly, Kael stopped moving. What? Selene asked. His jaw tightened. The guard outside keeps staring at you. Selene blinked in disbelief. You're insane. Probably. Before she could answer, a loud explosion shook the castle. Screams echoed below. Kael's expression darkened instantly. He moved toward the door, but before leaving, he looked back at her. Lock the door. Then he disappeared into the hallway. Selene rushed toward the giant window overlooking the courtyard below. Chaos exploded across Black Hollow. Wolves fought beneath heavy snowfall while guards screamed orders across the battlefield. Then suddenly, Selene froze. Because standing in the middle of the attack was her brother, the same brother who sold her. Kael reached him seconds later and tore through attacking rogues with terrifying brutality. Blood stained the snow. The beast Alpha truly existed. Then suddenly, one rogue shouted something that made the courtyard freeze. Take the girl alive! Kael's head snapped upward instantly toward Selene's window. Murder flashed across his face. The rogues weren't attacking Black Hollow. They came for her. And the moment Kael realized it, his wolf lost control. The roar that exploded from him shook the entire kingdom. Because he was no longer fighting like a king. He was fighting like a mate, protecting what belonged to him. The roar that exploded from Kael shook the kingdom. Snow burst from rooftops while wolves froze instinctively across the courtyard. Because the beast Alpha had lost control. Not from rage, from possessiveness. Kael tore through rogues violently while Selene watched from above in shock. Every movement felt brutal, animalistic, protective. Then suddenly, one rogue looked directly towards Selene's tower window and smiled. Fear crawled instantly into her chest. The girl belongs to the Eastern King, he shouted. The battlefield froze instantly. Even Kael stopped moving for half a second. The Eastern King, King Darius. The ruler whispered about in blood legends and war stories. The rogue laughed weakly through blood. You think this is about debt? She was promised long before you found her. Kael's expression darkened instantly. What does that mean? The rogue smiled. She carries the Silverfang bloodline. Silence crashed across the courtyard. Kael slowly turned toward Selene's window. Shock flashed across his face, like he finally understood something terrible. Then suddenly, the rogue lunged toward the castle entrance. Kael snapped. The Alpha crossed the courtyard in seconds and slammed the rogue into frozen stone hard enough to crack it. You do not speak about her again, he growled. Then he killed him. Minutes later, Kael entered Selene's chamber covered in blood and snow. The atmosphere changed instantly. Heavy, dangerous, emotional. What is Silverfang? Selene asked quietly. Kael hesitated. Then finally, an ancient royal bloodline. And Kael's jaw tightened. Kings fought wars to control it. Cold spread through Selene's chest. You mean they want me because of my blood? Kael looked away briefly. Yes. The answer hurt more than she expected. All her life, she thought she was unwanted. But the truth was worse. People only wanted what she could give them. What about you? She whispered. Kael froze. Would you still want me if we weren't mates? Painfully long silence followed. Then Kael stepped closer slowly. When you walk into a room, he whispered, my wolf notices first. Another step closer. When another man looks at you too long, I want to break his hands. Selene's breathing became uneven. And when I thought those rogues might touch you. His silver eyes darkened. I stopped thinking like a king. Before she could answer, the chamber doors burst open. A wounded guard stumbled inside. Your Majesty. Lady Evelina opened the eastern gates. Silence. The Eastern Army is inside the kingdom. War horns exploded across Black Hollow. The real invasion had begun. The battlefield outside looked like hell itself. Snowstorms mixed with smoke and blood, while wolves fought across burning courtyards. At the center stood King Darius, tall, elegant, terrifyingly calm. The moment he saw Selene, he smiled. There she is. Kael instantly stepped in front of her. She belongs to no one. Darius smiled faintly. She belongs to power. Then the Eastern Wolves attacked. Chaos erupted instantly. Kael shifted into his enormous black wolf form and tore through enemies violently. But there were too many. Then suddenly, a hidden soldier emerged behind Kael with a blade raised high. Selene's heart stopped. Kael! Without thinking, she ran. The blade entered her side before she even realized it. Warm blood spread through the snow beneath her. Kael froze completely. Selene, the way he said her name, it didn't sound like a king. It sounded like a man watching his world die. Kael dropped beside her instantly, hands shaking against her wound. No! No, no, no! Selene stared at him weakly. You're crying, she whispered. Kael looked broken, terrified, destroyed. I spent my entire life believing love made men weak, he whispered painfully. Snow melted against his skin. Then I met you, and realized I would rather destroy kingdoms than lose you. Something ancient awakened inside Selene. Silver light spread beneath her skin. The storm exploded outward violently. Every wolf on the battlefield dropped to one knee instinctively. Even Kael, not from fear, from dominance. Darius stepped backward slowly. For the first time, he looked afraid. Selene slowly lifted glowing silver eyes toward him. You will leave this kingdom, she whispered. The storm obeyed instantly. Massive waves of snow, silver energy slammed through the battlefield, destroying the Eastern Army completely. Darius realized the war was lost. He looked at Kael one final time. You were supposed to fear her. Kael shifted back into human form slowly. Blood covered him. Snow melted against his skin, but his eyes never left Selene. No, he whispered softly. I was supposed to love her. The words shattered something inside her, because for the first time, she believed him completely. The Eastern Army retreated moments later. The war ended beneath falling snow. Black Hollow stood damaged, broken, but alive. And standing at the center of it all was Selene, the girl sold to pay a debt. The girl kingdoms nearly destroyed themselves trying to possess. Kael slowly approached her through the snowfall. Then, the feared beast Alpha lowered himself onto one knee before her. The kingdom froze, because monsters did not kneel. But mates did. You are not my weakness, Kael whispered. You are the reason I survived. Snow drifted softly around them. And for the first time in her life, Selene no longer felt unwanted. If someone betrayed you, but later crossed an entire kingdom to protect you, would you forgive them? Comment, forgive, or never below. Tarolf, I like this video. If you want more emotional werewolf loves romance, subscribe for more dark fantasy love stories. Sassus. Share this with another werewolf romance fan, because the next alpha story will be even darker and even more obsessive.